All right. Can we have another one? Are you going to do another one off Man on a Mission?
We're just going to do another one. I want to feature this band. I want to feature Kevin singing one and Derek playing the banjo, and tribute to the fellas who got me playing bluegrass, but they also had a great impact on these guys too, the Osborne brothers, because we just lost Sonny, and Bobby just had a birthday. He turned 90.
Wow, yeah.
So it's only fitting we do an Osborne brothers song today. Tip of the hat to the greats.
Well, the sun came up bright and clear. I headed for the fishing hole. Just in case the fish don't bite, I brought along my old banjo. Bluegrass playing on the radio, I sure do love that sound. I come here to fish, but I changed my mind. Too much moving around. Sun's so hot and I'm so tired, I just can't do no more. Under the shade of the old oak tree, me and my old banjo. Well, I could try my hand at Soldier Joy, or maybe that Cripple Creek. But listen to the world's breakdown, that makes my fingers weak. Sun's so hot and I'm so tired, I just can't do no more. Under the shade of the old oak tree, me and my old banjo. Well, the sun's going down, it's getting dark, I guess I'd better go. But we'll come back to the old oak tree, me and my old banjo. Sun's so hot and I'm so tired, I just can't do no more. Under the shade of the old oak tree, me and my old banjo. Me and my old banjo. Me and my old banjo.
That's great. Darren Nicholson Band here in Studio B. Oh, man, just sitting there thinking of all the Osborne Brothers stuff. You know, it was great a few years ago when Rhonda got Sonny to come out of retirement and do that performance at the Ryman Auditorium.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm going to miss his columns in Bluegrass Today, too, you know?
Yeah, that's the big impact on the bluegrass music world. And,
Yeah.
Honestly, I'd gone through phases playing bluegrass and country music. As a teenager, I really got into electric music and country music and kind of got away from bluegrass. And I got a job one summer playing in the Nantahala Gorge, and the guy that I rode down there with had a tape of the Osborne Brothers. And I heard them, and I'm like, oh, that's the music I want to play, because it sounds like country music and bluegrass at the same time. It was country singing with bluegrass picking. And I was like, I love that.
Yeah.
And I sold the electric guitar and bought a mandolin that summer, and never looked back.
Wow, wow. And Bobby, man, just turns 90. I thought it was great a couple of years ago when he released Original, you know, and I thought, man, you know, and he's singing these cover songs. But then, you know, he's got a song on the new Industrial Strength Bluegrass album as well. And still, you know, still wanting to perform and still pretty good at it at 90 years old.
Oh, for 90, he's amazing. I mean, he's a war hero. I mean, he's just he's that old generation that's tough. That's like
That we're losing way too fast.
Don't get fatigued because I've been on Facebook too long. You know,
Right.
He's the real tough generation. You know.
Right.
Yeah, Uncle Josh used to say he's like a snake. He'll bite you.
Yeah. And you don't look old enough to have played with Uncle Josh, but I'm going to believe what he said that you did.
I'm only 13.
Yeah.
You're a good-looking 13.
Child prodigy. He had a smaller bass when he started off. But anyway. Oh, but yeah, the Osborne Brothers. It was. I was just stunned when we lost Sonny back in October, but to hear Bobby's still putting music out some, and of course all those big names that they list on his, that plays with him when he does record something. It's when it's Bobby Osborne, you get in line and you want to play with him.
Well, we kind of take the approach of the Osborne brothers. That's why we do records like Man on a Mission and Things Left Undone, because nothing's off limits, and that's why we have drums, because most of the traditional bluegrass had drums.
Yeah.
Flat and Scruggs, Jim and Jesse, the Osborne brothers. Rocky Top has drums and electric guitar, and if that's not bluegrass, I don't know what is. And that's the kind of music I grew up on. Jimmy Martin, all the Jimmy Martin stuff had drums.
Yep.
And I said, when we play bluegrass, I want it to have that feel, that rhythm, and that Richard does an amazing job with that. And to me, I think we sound more like traditional bluegrass than anything else. And we want to be original. Those kind of artists, they did their own music, they did their own songs, they weren't copying everybody else. The old generation, they all tried to carve their own way and do something different, and that's what we're trying to do.
Yeah, they sure did, and you guys are doing a great job with that, and you're absolutely right. I think if you think about it, folks who think about it, back when Monroe and the Bluegrass Boys with Lester and Earl in the band, and what they call the original bluegrass band, back then, country music didn't have drums in it either. So they're doing bluegrass, mountain music. They played string instruments and things like that, and they didn't have a drum kit.
Yeah.
The old mountain folks, they didn't. They might have banged on an old bucket or something, but they didn't have a drum kit. So in those days, in the 40s and some of the 50s, bluegrass didn't have drums, and neither did country music. But then things changed, and you're right. So many classic artists did have percussion.
How much more acoustic can you get than a drum?
It is acoustic.
I
right?
I think when you say drums in bluegrass, people think of like sticks or somebody in a kit in a cage spinning over the back of the audience with like pyrotechnics going off. I think it scares people more than. And then there's a lot of great bluegrass artists. I don't want to say any names, but. They record with drums and just don't mention them on the record. And people, if they don't know about it, they love it and don't complain. But if you tell them there's drums on there, then they take issue with it. But if they don't pick it up sonically, it adds to the rhythm for me.
Right. Well, and some artists, producers put it further down in the mix and not standing out front, which makes a difference.
We usually make Richard play outside.
We got him in the big fishbowl cage there now, back there. But anyway, all right. So, so we're debating. There's no debate. You're right, and I'm glad you guys have this. And let me say, I know why you all like to pick together. You're great pickers, but you harmonize really well together, and that's not just being in Studio B. People either harmonize well together or they don't, and you can hear it, and y'all do.
Kevin and I have county harmony. We live in neighboring counties. It's kind of like brother harmony, but it's county harmony. And Derek, he's got that Kansas accent.
I just sing the low part, so it doesn't matter if I'm good or not.
Oh, okay. Well,
that's not true. He's a great singer, and just going back to the Osborne brothers and that great bluegrass bands that are built around harmony. I was drawn to the harmony singing more than the picking. And that's why I'm here today.
Yeah, and you guys, like I said, great harmonies together, and no one can argue. Balsam Range doesn't have great harmony together. So, you guys, it just sometimes it makes the little hairs on my neck stand up. When y'all harmonize.